You know, they call them the dog days of summer. The Stanley Cup has been awarded. The NBA is in the middle of doing their summer leagues with a lot of the newbies that just got drafted, going out there and refining their skills. In the NFL, some people are at training camp, some aren't at training camp. And there's a lot of leaked footage going around about certain conversations of contracts that is absolutely hilarious. And on top of that, more than anything else, we are here on the Money Podcast Night, the best damn thing besides the games themselves, with a new edition of On the Money Podcast, here live July 10th, 2024. I am the commissioner of the Sandlot Baseball Association, and alongside me, none other than the commissioner of the On the Money Sports 2 Quarterback League, the league with the longest waiting list
of all time.
Oscar O'Money. We're here, baby.
Ladies and gentlemen,
and everything.
He's got the hot coffee. Today I decided to do the frozen hot chocolate. Well, cold chocolate.
Frozen hot chocolate.
It's very hot out. We all know that. It's extraordinarily hot.
As we're wearing two hoodies.
My basement's cold.
Yeah.
So that's why.
It's cool down here. We're chilling.
My basement's about 60 degrees.
I got the shorts and hoodie combo going on right now. You can't see it just yet, but, just getting real spiffy for the pod today.
Absolutely. So we're here. We're live. We're ready to rock and roll. It's been a fun week. Hasn't been that booming with news as of late. However, we're getting little things here and there.
Tidbits.
It's always the slow period before, next week. The end of next week, you start seeing things ramp up. Guys start signing.
What's up, Eric?
They start getting ready, for training camp, and that's what we're looking towards.
And once it starts, there's no stopping. It's a snowball effect.
Oh, it absolutely
it's a cataclysm, because we all know, we say it every single year. We wait and wait and wait for football season, and then it flies by. In the blink of an eye, it'll be week 9. So even though it may be the dog days of summer, I'm savoring every moment, savoring the anticipation, because, by next month, we already have preseason football. We have clarity as far as what these rosters are going to look like, who's going to be there, who's not going to be there. Hopefully as many players as possible, stay healthy.
Sadly, things happen that we don't want to hear.
Yeah, it's part of the game.
Injuries are going to take place, and it's not cool.
Yeah. So it's an unfortunate part of the game. We saw 2 years ago what it did for us as far as the quarterback market, when all the big name QBs went down, and you were riding on the coattails of the likes of Gardner Minshew and them to try to get you to the promised land. Everything can change, man. It's the calm before the storm. We're here in July, right in the middle of baseball season. All-Star weekend this weekend. So next week, Monday through Thursday, we are not going to have any games. So I'm already designating that time period for mental health and, movies. Just lining up movies and shows to kick back and watch, get some research done, and prepare myself, because there ain't going to be no baseball for most of the week up until Friday.
What up, Serge?
What's going on, Serge? Roj clocking in right now, or checking in, I should say. Roj in the building. Appreciate you once again, all the hard work that you were doing with every single signing.
It's not showing us how many people are watching what is on here tonight.
Not the moment, no.
So I'm on my thing.
What's up, Paul?
Everybody's starting to gravitate in.
Yes, that's another thing I can do. I can take the time to more or less learn the pecking order of MMA and know what's going on and what big fights are coming, my way. Shout out to you guys for being the pioneers, you and RJ and Chris, Andrew, for on Saturday nights having the forum jumping and posting the content, posting the crazy knockouts and all the crazy stories happening in the world of MMA. It'll be a good week for me to be able to get a nice little break. I'm not going to lie, the chasing numbers when it comes to baseball, it's a lot, man. There's a lot of hours of studying put into I've become my own analytics department when it comes to baseball. I spent the whole morning doing research for the matchups tonight, putting together the lineup for fantasy baseball in both the leagues that I'm in. Yes, absolutely. And I love it. I love it because like a lot of times it's like it's Saturday night, so I'm like kind of stuck at work. But when I get home, when I'm done work at 1:30, and I just see like all the conversation going on as far as MMA, like absolutely love and appreciate it. I gotta brush up my knowledge and get right there with you guys.
I haven't been a hard core viewer of MMA for about
What up, Noli?
possibly 10 years now. And I used to watch it all the time. I used to be at Buffalo Wild Wings for all them fights.
Yes, boxing can get some love too. Absolutely. We will
I'm
incorporate
going
both.
to try.
We will incorporate both. I will try to do my due diligence, a little bit of a breather from baseball for a couple of days, so to give me the opportunity to try to get on par. Noli is another one of the guys where, our baseball group chat, Sandlot Baseball Association, the best shit talking league on the planet right now.
Not a good week.
A lot of times that baseball league on Saturday nights, there's a lot of conversation going on. There's like a 200 messages worth of conversation during the fight while it's happening. So it's definitely live, whether it's the forum, whether it's the group chat. Like, we're gonna have a fight party and watch a pay-per-view. I'm down, man. I'm down for that. I hit up Old Wild Wings. Julio, get in here. Your cousin has requested your presence, bro. Because we got live baseball action. Mets just tied it up with the Nationals 2-2. Phillies are up on the Dodgers right now, 3-2 in the bottom of the fifth. We're just getting started. We figure, championship fight this weekend in Philly at the Wells Fargo Center. Enos defends his IBF championship. Okay. So we're getting a nice little scoop as far as the next big fight coming this weekend. It should be live. On top of the fact that, we're gearing up for the big All-Star break. I'm not as big a fan of it as I once was. I'm under the belief that they should just let everybody wear their old, their own jerseys. Talk about those sneaky Braves. Hey, man, they gotta match up later on against the Diamondbacks. I'm gonna be keyed in on that once the podcast is done. A little bit of late night baseball action while I do a little bit of studying. All right, so you got Serge thinking about heading to that fight at Wells Fargo. Should be jumping out there this weekend. Are the Phillies hosting this weekend, or I don't know. I'm not totally sure.
I don't know.
If anybody knows, are the Phillies going to be home or are they going to be away?
Oh, throw it away. He's safe.
So there's some incentive. Looks like the Phillies just went up 4-2. The Stros are 2-0 on the Marlins. I always bring
food to pay-per-views, so there's some incentive. I am thinking about. We got to find you guys got to let me know the next big UFC fight card.
Okay,
and we'll order it here. We'll order it here at the lounge, and we'll have an MMA night in the lounge.
Yeah, the complex is going to be wild. It turns out the Phillies are going to be hosting the Oakland Athletics that same weekend. So this weekend is going to be jumping at the Philly complex. There should be a lot to do out there, a lot of entertainment, a lot of action.
I'm also thinking about busting out the projector and watching SummerSlam outside.
SummerSlam, okay.
Now, if the heat still as bad as it's going to be down here.
Man, I was outside. I was grilling for a few hours yesterday.
I got egg in.
Got chewed up by mosquitoes on my ankles. We got the birthdays. We got the graduations. And every week we've been banging them out. And after all is said and done, all I can say is I am looking forward to these kids going back to school, man. Your daughter's done, dog. Get your ass on the bus and take your ass to school.
The younger one ain't done.
No, she's not.
The older one's done.
She's not done. Oh no, my daughter still has. This is her last year.
I thought she graduated.
This is senior year. It's just her birthday is in June, so she has that awkward placement of her birthday where it's like she's got that year older. You know what I mean? Like she's older than some of the kids, not as old as some of the kids. And this is her last year going to Violent High. Get your ass on the bus. Get some studying done and stay out of trouble.
Next.
Yeah, man.
UFC.
It's that time of year, man. And plus, I feel as though we just have all these, like, summer babies. This is Phillies. And Eric's saying that he's asking if we were going to watch the ESPYs. I know that that's tomorrow night. I might have it on while I'm at work. I'll catch glimpses of it here and there. And he said he just gave Pop a haircut to get him ready for the ESPY, so that's pretty cool. I know that best athlete, what did Patrick Mahomes win? Best athlete or something like that? You didn't like it? You don't agree?
I don't. He didn't have a great statistical year.
No?
I might be inclined to give it Ohtani.
Oof.
Last year.
Is it because, is it the well, technically, when we're talking about the regular season, yes, it was not one of those flashy regular seasons for them, but we can agree that they turned it up when they needed to.
If I say this UFC fight card for 304 isn't that good, am I going to get blasted by you guys?
You might. I don't know.
I only recognize Patty.
I don't know the fighters well enough, so I don't know what's good and what's not good just yet.
Yeah,
I'm still learning. I'm still learning the game.
It's Edwards versus Muhammad too, so I guess the first one must have been a banger, huh? 304 will be a good one. When's Bones Jones back, guys?
Well, we're gonna take the opportunity tonight to learn a little bit. We're going to take the opportunity tonight. I know that the football world was a little bit quiet. Brandon Ayuk skipping mandatory minicamp. We knew that was coming. Justin Jefferson making a public endorsement of his rookie quarterback, J.J. McCarthy.
He better.
He wants that J.J. McCarthy wants to be a problem in this league. Of course, J.J. coming from Michigan and that amazing run that they had out there.
Julio has checked in.
How is that going to transfer to, McCarthy coming into the league, coming into a pretty tough division, most likely being the starter for the Vikings this year. Jones will be back at 306, I think.
So when's 306? November?
Tom Aspinall is the interim heavyweight champ, and the fight ended due to an eye poke. Now Leon is a champ, and Bilal wants to get his back. What's going on, Magoo? We're setting the foundation for fight night talks moving forward. It's a good time to set the table for everything that we want to be able to discuss now, because the problem with football season is that, just like with baseball and following the numbers with baseball, football season is super consuming. Mentally, emotionally, physically, it takes a toll on us. So once football revs up,
brain freeze.
You're drinking it too fast. You gotta take your time.
Don't
give yourself a concussion, dog.
Oh man.
We have these laid back, chill podcasts in the summertime, and then everything gets revved up when football comes back, and we don't have the time to always cover some of these subjects or to go live in between podcasts. So we got to get it all out in the open now, as well as hot takes. We're talking about the dog days of summer. Get your hot takes on there. Let us know. Who do you think's winning the big fight? Do you have a NBA Finals prediction for next year? Do you have a Super Bowl prediction lined up already? Your favorite teams' overall record. Let's get it done. Let's get ourselves ready and amped up for the breakdowns that come in August when we go around the league and break down every division, North, South, East, West, leading up to our playoff episode and our Super Bowl pick. Knicks in 6. There we go. Knicks in 6 against everybody. Perry will KO Jake Paul. That's right. Those two are going to – I forgot about that. That's soon. He came in because, Tyson was having the health issues, so he's going to step in.
I don't think that fight's ever going to happen.
What, Tyson?
Yeah.
The idea of it was fun for a little bit, but now it's back to reality.
Yeah.
And just, that's not.
I really wanted him to knock out Paul.
We all did. But it's not 20-year-old Mike Tyson. It's 57-year-old Mike Tyson.
He'd still knock him out.
Maybe. Hopefully he does get knocked out. But it's tough, man. Those Paul brothers, bro. They always find a way. They announced the Tyson fight for November. So wait, Tyson is still going to fight Jake Paul, and Jake Paul is going to take this fight with Perry still?
I'm checking that out right now.
Dunkin' Donuts, man. That's sweet ass coffee.
Oh my god. That dude was pissed.
We went to the slowest Dunkin' Donuts in town through the drive-thru, ordered 4 coffees, and we must have ruined this guy's day. I don't know what he was in the back watching movies or whatever was going on, but we made that guy work for a couple of minutes, and he just was not.
I was like
happy.
2 vanilla bean coladas, medium, a hot French vanilla coffee. And what took them off was when I was like, yeah, and 1 large hot frozen chocolate.
Yeah, the frozen chocolate.
Oh my god.
The frozen chocolate put him over the top. That was it. He kept his composure up until that last one. He broke.
Oh, it's July 20th, the Jake Paul fight.
Okay, July 20th. I'm sure that the guys are gonna have the forum jumping when that fight goes down. Watching some of the Bollywood flicks. Yeah, bro. He was back there getting lit, bro, all by himself. Manager gave him the key to close, so he's in the back baking out, doing whatever, smoking a cigar. And we pulled up and asked for hot and cold beverages at the same time, so made that man work.
That man was watching the Great Khaliak.
He was watching Great Khali squish Rey Mysterio's head.
Remember what Andrew said?
Made him spit up blood.
Andrew said he thought he was dying. Andrew said he was going to call the cops.
And that is how you get a heel over, bro. Relax and take notes, Giants Gonzalez.
Andrew legit. I'm going to tag him in that.
I guess Rey Mysterio would qualify as a fighting little Jimmy when you think about it.
How upset?
And he was not happy, bro. I picture young Andrew just sitting in front of his TV, seeing Rey Mysterio spitting up blood, and just thinking to himself, "What the fuck? This giant needs to be stopped. He's a menace." I hear Minka upstairs barking,
asserting his dominance
upstairs. The guardian of the house here live, the epicenter of Nostalgia Mania. Casa de Money, where it all goes down. Plenty of Sundays spent down here watching football, TVs in every direction, so you're not missing a beat. AEW does better numbers than Raw for 3 weeks straight. That's super spicy, my friend.
I doubt that'll happen.
That's a hot tamale hot take right there.
Maybe when it first came out, but when all the glitz and glamour wore off, we've seen what happened. I will say this, though. We can clown AEW all we want. We can make fun of them all we want. But they did force the WWE to pick their game up.
Yeah.
That's one thing we can say. Because never forget, zombies were trying to consume Miz on a PLE.
I mean, we do remember TNA with the electric cage.
Or
remember that?
Or Vince with the golden egg from that movie with Ryan Reynolds and The Rock.
Or Tony Khan with the neck brace at the draft. What up, Mike D, bro? What's going on, brother?
Hey, Mike.
Those empty arenas be
you
lit.
Promise that after you look around and check everything, that you'll come back here and we can talk?
Oh, dude.
You think we could do that?
I just watched the phone conversation that went down between, what's his name? Sheen?
Joe Sheen, I
Joe
guess.
Sheen and Saquon Barkley. Joe Sheen basically letting Barkley know that they're going to let him test out free agency and hope that he decides to stay with the organization because they appreciate everything that he has done, what he means to them, and they don't want to go through the runaround of that franchise and have to go through all that nonsense. And Saquon agreed to it, and then Sheen wanted like a promise that he was going to get an opportunity to be able to re-sign Saquon after he went out and found his value elsewhere. Greener pastures. Asked for the Boy Scout salute, I guess, from Saquon Barkley.
You promised to come back and tell me what everybody's offering you?
And Saquon didn't really answer right away.
He did that, right?
He did the little smirk.
Yeah. I will.
I just, you guys.
That's what I tell guys at work when they're like, "Yo, you think I can go home early?" Yeah. We'll work something out.
Barkley hit him with one of those, and the rest is history. 3 years, $37 million with the Philadelphia Eagles for Saquon Barkley. Chris, are you saying F that guy to Barkley, or are you saying F that guy to Shone or Sheen? Giant for life, my nuts. Nobody's giant for life. Working in Maryland tonight from 7 p.m. to 3 a.m. I hope you're doing good, man. I hope you're making that money and
make that money, brother.
Having safe travels, bro. Maryland. I've been thinking about Maryland because I want to go out there and have some of that seafood.
Some crab cakes,
bro. Yes.
From Jimmy's Seafood.
Crab cakes
and that they always talk about on Something to Wrestle With.
Yes.
Bruce Pritchard.
Yes. That would be like my main reason to go out there is to go out there and have like the seafood.
He never gave the Giants a chance to counter. Effing emotional ass.
He was never going to. He broke the half-hearted promise that he made to Shone.
Shone never offered him a contract this past all season. I don't want to hear about the last all season's contract. Damn you, Freddie Freeman.
They offered him a contract last year, but not this year.
But there was nothing this year.
But he also was allowing Saquon to go out and find his value, and then he figured to himself, I'll offer him the contract once he realizes, we're talking about emotions. I called 911. He was saying to himself, I want to test Barkley's loyalty to us. I want him to be able to come back and be like, I want to stay a Giant. I want him to get offers elsewhere and come back to me and be like, I want to stay here and be a part of what you guys have going on. And then he said to himself, maybe I'll offer him something then. But how did you feel like that was going to work?
Saquon looked at the quarterback room. He said he saw Drew Lock doing that little funky dance. Then he saw Daniel Jones still there. It's like, yeah. It was probably like that meme where he disappears.
That's exactly what happened. Now, as of right now, Singletary.
I was too young to understand that it was fake because my man was gushing blood from his mouth and skull. Was getting crushed.
Nobody from the back came out to help him or anything. They just let him get his skull cracked.
I'll never forget that. Ray was like this.
No, remember when Mysterio was on the stretcher and Big Show grabbed it and banged it up against the side and he smacked
he dropped him. I was like, oh my God. I remember I was watching it with my dad and I was like, oh my God, I think he's got a concussion.
Yo, that was good stuff. They always show the Spike Dudley bumps, but Rey Mysterio took a couple bad ones too, man. Never forget he got lawn darted into the trailer by Kevin Nash in his younger days.
And he had actually told Nash, can you throw me through the window?
Yeah, Kevin Nash was like, no. I can't do that.
He goes, I'm going to kill you.
He can go grab ass in Philly. Listen, I'm not here to trigger. I've already given my thoughts and sentiments on the ordeal and the situation. I've already said what I had to say about it.
He said it.
This was the first time I saw the phone conversation between Shone and Barkley. And to me, it's like Shone comes off kind of weak in the situation. It's one of those things where it's like, you're in charge. I can't tell by how you're talking on the phone.
Like, you know what they're doing.
What's up, Chris? You did offer him a contract. What held up negotiations at the time? Would you say at that point in time it was Barkley being like, nah, I'm good on that?
It doesn't matter when we offered it to him.
What about when Kurt Angle screwed up throwing Shane McMahon through the glass window? Yeah, he banged his head because the glass didn't break right away.
The
so he did the flip,
and he just went.
And then he lifted him up by his shirt, hugged him, and
just
flipped his ass again.
The guy,
our GM isn't weak at all. Well, and Saquon, the pizza is good.
I
I feel like it's very naive of that man to think to himself that Saquon's just going to come back ready to negotiate. Like, what, you thought that Saquon wasn't going to find anything elsewhere? Like, I don't know what the logic of that conversation was, honestly.
He left $3 million more, so you could tell me what stopped. If it wasn't his emotions, you tell me. I don't know. You seem a little emotional.
He went to the Eagles.
It was
plexiglass
instead of sugar glass. Ah, that makes sense too. And Shane told him to throw him again. Is Matt gonna do? Yo, like, what was that really gonna do by hugging him hard?
Well, he did the flip. He grabbed you and just flip you over there because Kurt is a suplex machine.
Is Matt gonna post a 12 and 5 word schedule this
for Philly? If Barkley can stay healthy, and history has shown that at some point he is going to get hurt. Shane was for the people. Yeah, Shane. Like, people are like talk about Jeff Hardy and his stunts, but like Shane was doing some crazy shit too, bro. Like the fall that he took when he went against Steve Blackman was like 70 feet in the air when he did the elbow drop, the coast to coast on his dad. And he's low key underrated for being the old boss's son. Yeah, he put on definitely some entertaining bangers.
I feel like he did that to show just because I'm the boss's son doesn't mean I'm trying to take it easy.
Yeah. And he watched ECW. Like, he was one of the main components for, like,
Shane wanted to buy UFC. That is true. He tried his best.
Well, didn't he have a hand in Comcast at one point? He was the president of Comcast for a few years.
In Japan.
So he
was a part of a big cable company out there.
And Raw Underground? Remember that? When that was having its little run?
But yeah, Shane wanted UFC. I remember that.
Man,
Vince didn't see it. He didn't
understand it.
Yeah.
That's what him. He can't, if you don't understand
it's
it,
like
he don't
cockfighting
to understand it. Like, he needs to know it or reference it from some type of movie or something, or like he never saw Scarface. When Razor Ramon was pitching him,
I still can't believe
that. He had never seen Scarface. He thought he thought he was just making that shit up
on the fly.
Like, he thought he was just Rain Man type genius level. Where it's like,
Scala said he was befuddled. Like,
yeah.
Huh?
I remember living in Florida when I saw the video of the Four Horsemen breaking Dusty Rhodes' arm, and I was crying.
Yo, I remember I was small when that happened. I was real small. What was that, like 87? 87, 88?
And those Southern crowds, man, they were red hot for that type of stuff, man.
Maybe I just seen it on a tape later on, because I remember my uncle Angel, the biggest Ric Flair fan, and he was like, watch this part, Junior, watch this part. And they jumped him outside, and then they put his arm right in, and then they slammed the car on it. And you just hear Dusty go, oh, God! Dusty oversold. Just kept making sounds.
Yeah, I watch some of that stuff when it comes up. A lot of the funny memes and, like, GIFs are, like, old promos.
Or Magoo, was that the baseball bat one? Is that when they took the baseball bat and they censored out the part when they hit Dusty with it?
I can't believe Vince for that, bro. Durag Vince was just a different animal, dude. He was the ECW champ, and he was just wilding out. And Booker T was right there, bro. I was like, what are you doing, bro?
He was like...
You look back at, like, that 05 to 07 period, right before Benoit passed.
It was the bat. Okay. Wild. I'm thinking of Barry Windham when Barry Windham got jumped in the early 90s, and they did that to Windham. It was Arn and Larry Sabisco did it to Windham.
Arn and Larry Sabisco.
Yo, the Horsemen were deadly back then. I'll never forget when I got older and I watched the one match. It was a steel cage match. It was Ric Flair versus Ivan Koloff. Like, Ric Flair's a face, even though he's really a heel, but he's fighting for America. It was the big whole Cold War fight. And then Nikita Koloff in the game came in, and Crusher Khrushchev children, a.k.a. Demolition Smash, came in there and they started whooping Flair's ass. And then all of a sudden, Dusty comes out of nowhere. And Dusty goes in there. He's clearing house, helping. Then the Horsemen come in and they beat the shit out of Dusty Rhodes. This man ran in there to help you, to fight with you side by side like American against the Dirty Russians. And they turned around and they beat him up. And that was when Ric Flair jumped off the top rope and kneed Dusty's leg.
They pulled the turning on Sting thing on Dusty at that point in time.
Bro.
Yo, Drew, those are two classic segments. Like, it's funny because Stone Cold, we know that he dealt with so many injuries, but they found so many creative ways to use him that you wouldn't even realize dude was hurt because he was on TV getting like the highest number. The supermarket thing with him and Booker T was just classic. That's like
hilarious, bro.
That's like one of their like top rated segments. And then, you know, prior to that, like during the original Stone Cold run with him jumping Vince in the hospital after being the reason
that's
he's in the
favorite.
Hospital.
That is my all-time favorite Stone Cold moment.
Hit him over the head with the bedpan.
Me and my dad, listen, my dad could be serious as shit, flipping through channels. But if they put that clip on TV, he stops what he's doing, watches it just to laugh. Like, it makes me laugh to this day, man.
Remember when he had a gun pointed to Vince's head? It was Bang 316. That's one of my favorite moments. He had Vince at gunpoint and he tried to make it seem like he was gonna.
An honorable mention is his feud with Bret Hart. When he fought Bret in that impromptu street fight match.
Going back and watching that was cool.
And Bret, they put him on the stretcher and they put him in, and Owen was like, "Watch his knee, you damn idiot!" And then they put Bret in the stretcher, and then the guy goes, he bangs on the door like, "You can go," and then you hear Stone, "I told you don't say a word. I told you I'll take you straight to hell, Bret." And he's whooping Bret's ass.
Oh, he's on the stretcher. Yeah. It's something about like the guys being on the stretcher and still getting beat up that was always funny to me. Like those were some of my favorite.
Bret was getting his ass whooped. And then the father, remember Bulldog afterward? "I'm gonna kill him.
Yeah.
I'm gonna kill him."
Owen and Bulldog are walking in the back like, "We're gonna kill him."
Yeah.
We're gonna kill him.
Remember
They kept saying it over and over.
Monsoon was, "What the hell do you think you're doing, Austin?"
Hearing people get wrecked. I miss Pros versus Joes on TV. That was very interesting television right there.
That was,
Pros
bro.
versus Joes. Like that was different. And we're talking about like early 2000s, right? 2003, 2004, around the same time as we were getting slam ball, where you were doing the.
I watched Cordell Stewart juke someone so bad, bro. I just sat there and said, "Ugh." Was the Big Boss Man that stole the casket at Big Show's funeral?
Oh yeah, it was Big Show's dad's funeral, and they're in a real cemetery where people are actually really going to put flowers on their loved ones' graves, doing
especially
this stuff.
after me and Elon listened to
the middle of the day.
Me and Elon listened to the podcast, so we get the behind the scenes. And Bruce Pritchard talks about that, Chris.
It makes
where
it
there
so
was a
worse.
real funeral going on at that time.
It makes it
because his friend was the funeral guy or something like that, and so he worked the deal out to record.
That's some weird.
But he didn't know. His friend didn't know that Boss Man was gonna tie the casket with a chain and drive off with it.
And you got
real people who don't know what's going on are looking and scared, bro.
They didn't tell him that last part. But there's literally like a procession happening. There's people coming to visit their loved ones. And these guys are in there shooting not even a good angle. It was Big Show's championship run that lasted a month before he lost the belt. And Boss Man was
one
the
title
challenger.
defense is Boss Man.
And Boss Man proceeds to take Big Show's dad's casket and just drag it along. And 7'4", 500-pound Big Show is holding on to the casket and then just rolls off of it. Like all this shit is happening in broad daylight, bro. Like
he's dead.
I remember it stood out to me as a kid when I first saw it, and then when I go back and listen to the Bruce Pritchard podcast and he explains that part of it that I didn't know,
bro.
I was like, oh,
and Bruce is laughing too while he's telling the story, And so
Yeah,
is
'cause it's
Conrad,
crazy.
because they're like, wow. But yo, that's not even the worst thing Big Boss Man ever did. That man fed Al Snow's dog to him.
Yeah, he fed him his own dog. He invited him over to the hotel and he made dinner, and he cooked one of the dogs. And then
Remember, he said, "Is your throat scratchy?"
oh my god.
Did you get a paw stuck in your throat?
There-
And Al Snow looked at him and goes,
Sorry, yakking.
"What?" He goes, "How's pepper taste, Al?"
Yeah,
Yo.
Boss Man was crazy. Then you had all the Ministry of Darkness sacrifices. Oh yeah, the cliffhanger of when they chopped off Val Venus. We chop off your pee-pee. Remember that? We're chopping
Yo,
your
they
pee-pee.
got Al Smoke. Val Venus, full moon frontal. Like, nothing was censored back then. Ass cheeks hanging out. And you see the guy from Kaientai's like, now I'm chopping your pee-pee. And then everything went dark.
He was beefing with Kaientai. That's what lives in my head rent free is the old guy. What's that dude's name?
I can't remember, bro.
He's like a real, like, he was everywhere. He was in WCW. He knew Japan. Like, he's actually like a real well-known dude. TBC is where amateur wrestlers tried out to join WWE.
All I remember, it was Funaki.
Can't wait for this.
It was Funaki, Taka Michinoku, and I can't remember the other guy.
Funaki,
There was a third one.
Taka.
Then there was the manager.
Well, they cut all those other. It eventually just became two guys.
The sketch almost killed my grandmother. Oh no!
Yeah, there was Mae Young giving birth to a hand.
Yeah, that's not so memorable.
With Mark, it lives. It's one of those just what the F moments of as far as like storylines that they had going on. Yeah, the hand. Yeah, there you go. The hand situation. That was freaking
damn,
insane.
bro. I know Boss Man. Like, yo, Boss Man had some moments in the Attitude Era, bro.
Yeah,
he really did.
It's kind of cool because he's one of those like Hogan era characters, and he
survived.
Reinvented himself.
Yeah,
like he was able to reinvent that character, still stay true to it in a sense.
I still tell people, go back to SummerSlam 1990 when Big Boss Man gets introduced as Hulk Hogan's, even Big Boss Man's match earlier in the day. I think he was a referee or some shit. Regardless of the fact, listen to the pop the audience gives him when his music plays before Hulk Hogan comes out, bro. The pop, he had to be a top 5 babyface in that company from 90 to like the end of 91. Like, go back and just listen to his pops as a babyface. It's crazy when you go back and listen to it.
Well, Rob cried when The Undertaker hung Boss Man in that Hell in the Cell match, which is crazy because, like, this is happening at a WrestleMania. Like, you guys are hanging people from cages. I'm pretty sure that's one of those things they didn't tell anybody they were going to do as well.
You know how they did it, right? They latched his vest. Yeah. And to put the rope, and it made it seem like, I think the wire was wrapped around the rope, so you couldn't really see it. But that's how they pulled that off. I always wondered how they did that, and then I finally seen like this documentary. I was like, oh shit, that's how they did it.
You could kind of see it though. Like now, like you're older.
Godfather and the Hose was crazy.
Godfather was another cat that was getting
my man
popped,
got
bro.
W's by offering women.
His matches would be 2 minutes. It was all about that entrance, bro.
Wow, wow, wow.
It was all about that entrance. And then he'd come back. He'd go back, grab more girls, and people were just eating it up, bro. That's just ratings. Ratings freaking guys like him and Sable coming out doing her thing. Steve Austin, of course, being who he was. The Outlaws, bro. The Outlaws used to get me hyped, bro. Road Dogg and Billy Gunn,
Raw
bro.
Netflix is gonna be wild next year. because they already said like they're gonna let them curse. Like there's no real restrictions. I don't think you're gonna see nudity, but I do think you're gonna see them like raw emotion.
They're already trying to, move into that direction slowly with some of the content.
That was a matter of time before Andrew dropped that one.
Lethal Weapon, Steve Blackman.
Andrew's favorite wrestler.
What was it? Theme song, dog? Oh, man. Yeah, bro. They were over.
Bro, there was some Nitro had its moments too.
It's funny because today for a little bit, Undertaker was
Alonzo,
on Austin's
Bone,
pod.
Hernandez, Ozuna for the National League.
Taker was on Austin's pod a couple times, but this time around they were watching the Hell in the Cell together and talking about it while they're having one of Steve Austin's beers, and just listening to the both of them talk about it and how Stone Cold was like, man, me and Kane had to follow this up, and our match wasn't that good because we're thinking to ourselves like, how do you follow up what just happened? And Undertaker's talking about how they're on top of the cell and like all the coils are just like popping off of the top of it. And that big thing, like when it crashed through, like that whole thing wasn't supposed to break the way it did.
He wasn't supposed to go through the cage.
He thought he killed that guy, dude.
He really was. He was supposed to take a regular chokeslam.
Undertaker had a broken ankle at the time. It says that if he doesn't move from where he's standing, when he chokeslammed Mankind, he would have fell through there too. So imagine that visual for
the match would have been over.
Yeah, on top of the fact that you already threw him off the top. Who do you think took the most damage to their body?
Bro, nothing beats Mick Foley smiling and his tooth is on top of his lip.
It was Mick Foley took, then you got like, you get the probably Sabu and guys like that, that definitely they got their ass beat for a long time. But Mick Foley did things that I never saw anybody do anywhere. Like his I remember the day of that pay-per-view. I remember, bro, I was 8 years old. I'm flying to Kentucky to go spend the summer with my my late uncle. He's picking me up from the airport. I know the pay-per-view is that night. I'm all hyped up because it's Kane versus Austin. And at the time,
you watched that in Chicago?
No, Kentucky. This is when he lived in Kentucky. At the time, I always rooted for the heels, so I was like, I hope Kane wins tonight. That was what I was going into this pay-per-view thinking to myself, like, I hope Kane gets the belt. Not even thinking to myself that I was about to watch one of the most historic moments in the history.
You were Canaanite?
I was a Canaanite, bro. I liked Kane. I didn't mind. I liked him throwing gasoline on people and just lighting people. I was like, yo, this dude.
It all makes sense now.
This dude right here. It was like Jason Voorhees type of feel. Like basically the way that they were trying to build him up, like the way Cornette and Bruce describe him is the exact visual 8-year-old me got when I see him come out. It's Undertaker's little brother, and he's about to just destroy everybody in his path until he gets to the Undertaker. So, like, to me, I was big on him, but I had no idea that 2 minutes into that Hell in a Cell match, I was going to see what I saw with and Undertaker now, going back and listening to him talk about it and how he said he didn't want to do it, and how when he thought Mankind landed head first, he's looking over the cage and just waiting to see any movement of his arms and legs because he didn't know if he had paralyzed them.
He thought he killed him.
So that's
he just kept saying, move, Mick, move, Mick, move. He's like, come on, Mick, move.
He said it was his first out-of-body experience because he saw himself throwing Mankind. So, like, that camera angle that we got, Undertaker was seeing that when he was, like, actually doing it.
That's crazy.
Like, that's...
Yo, that Rock Mankind I Quit match is one of the most brutal matches I've ever seen in my life.
When kids were crying, bro. Oh my God.
That match was brutal, bro.
Yeah, that was crazy, yo.
That happened in 90.
Rock was wild. That was 99.
99.
That was 99. The weird year in the Attitude Era. It was like the forgotten year in between all the books. You had 98. You had 2000.
I was
2001.
16. Yeah. 16 years old me. My dad back then had the back porch all freed up and all that. And we had like plastic wrapped around it so you could still be out there during the winter. So it would still be warm. I remember my dad turned the grill on, but he wasn't grilling. He was using the stove part.
Yeah.
So he's making chicken wings and stuff. And me and him got the TV in the back. We got the cable box. playing.
We know which one that is.
Playing it, and we're watching this. And I remember before the match, Foley cut that promo earlier in the day talking about, "You will not hear me scream those words. I quit, I quit, I quit." I looked at my dad. I said, "They're going to use this."
Yeah.
I was like, "This is going to be a part of the ending." And he was like, he goes, "Huh." And we're watching this match.
You were a smart mark.
After about the fourth chair shot, I looked at my dad. I'm like, "Yo, what the heck?" And my dad's like, "All right, enough's enough." Me and my dad, like, enough. Yo, and he hit him at least 15 times, bro.
The Rock was
and then finally heard the, "I quit, I quit, I quit." And I'm like, I jumped out of my seat. I was like, "I told you, I told you."
Rock was taking liberties, bro. Rock was taking some serious liberties when he did that. That was wild. That was real wild.
Wild ain't the word, bro.
TLC matches with the Hardy Boys is absolutely insane. Triple-decker tables from on top of the ladders was madness. I mean, listening to like them talk about those matches and what it did for them, but also like the toll it took on their bodies. It's just, I don't know. I the way that I enjoyed it as a kid is the way that I enjoy listening to a lot of the podcasts now as an adult, because it's basically reliving that memory, but getting the perspective of the people that were in the moment and just some of the crazy behind the scenes stories that you didn't know about that were happening. Like when we started this podcast, it was around the time when Bruce Pritchard had started the Something to Wrestle With podcast with Conrad. So like we were juiced up off of, you know, what they were talking about, and, you know, Skip and Shannon were still like new on the scene. So it's like we were taking a lot of these things throughout the day, watching them, consuming them, and just kind of putting it all together into like what you have today. That's why we kind of have that platform where we dip back and forth between the sports talk and a lot of the nostalgia talk that we've kind of been putting more in the forefront now that the summertime's coming up. And, you know, next year there's going to be a lot of Marvel content that is going to be dropping. So, you know, for those of you who want to talk about it, like, hey, we're here for it. We're here for all of it, bro. The critiques, the reviews, the breakdowns. Drew, can't talk about Low-Key with you until I know for sure that you watch Low-Key. I don't think he's watched season 1 or 2.
What?
I don't think he has. So this next week, there's no baseball Monday through Thursday. Take a little bit of time, watch some Low-Key. I know it's a very busy time period for you.
I know
right
Marvel's
now.
dropped a lot of series, and not every series is good, but the Low-Key season 1 and 2 were amazing.
They were. They
like I have no intentions. I'm not amped up to watch Agatha. Like I don't know how anybody can be like, "Oh, I can't wait."
You know, that's how they get me, because I say to myself, I'm not that excited about this, but then another part of me is like, I have to watch how this ties into the universe. So I have to watch it. Like, and you spend the whole time just looking and waiting for clues and Easter eggs.
I'm amped up for tomorrow.
What up, baby? What's going on, bro?
For the newest episode of The Boys.
Joey Mercury's face exploding in that TLC
I remember
match
that
is wild.
When
my goodness.
That was brutal, bro.
Yo, when he kicked the ladder into his forehead and he just starts like
gushing,
leaking, bro. Oh, that was crazy as hell.
That was with
that ain't a blade job.
When him and Morrison,
they
Eminem,
with what, Melina?
Mercury and Morrison, with Melina.
That's always on like one of the like top blooper reels. You know, whenever they.
Oh, fantastic!
What's that? What's Pajes? Why couldn't it be
Alvarado doing his thing? I need a nice quick
Dallas
inning.
Used to compete for Super Bowl rings. Well, listen, the Cowboys are going to win their division this year, but this could kind of be like a last dance kind of ordeal with a lot of these guys. We talked about it on the podcast
Trey Lance,
last
2025 quarterback.
Where
I already said it.
This could potentially be Dak Prescott's last year with the Dallas Cowboys, the last hurrah with this core group. So it could be a situation of some things for the first time in a while actually changing in Dallas, you know, where a lot of the fans are hopeful for change and wanting change. And tired of the same old with the same results, like all of a sudden, be careful what you wish for, because there's a good shot that you're going to be seeing a lot of change. I gotta see what you guys look like on the field. I have this feeling, I've been talking about it. There's multiple combustible elements in the NFC East for me. I think the Giants are going to be the worst of the four. I think Washington is going to be a lot better than everybody thinks that they're going to be. And I could definitely see Washington making a push to try to get into the wild card, maybe ending up like 7-10, 8-9. And I see the Philadelphia Eagles ending up with a 9-8, 8-9 type record. I don't know. I got to see it. I think it all depends on the development of one Jalen Hurts. I need to know
His
if the
foot
league
went up, right?
has. That's a shitty camera angle. I can't even really see. I need to know if the league has figured out Jalen Hurts, or if Jalen Hurts has done his due diligence, done his homework, and is going to come out here this year with something new.
I'm going to
like something to add.
That come playoffs with
Like
Minnesota.
come the podcast, and the first thing I hear is the Giants are going to be last. Well, I had Bebe that he came in and he gave his salutations. He mentioned the Cowboys, and he wasn't on last week when we were talking about the Dallas Cowboys and how I already think they're taking the East this year, as well as the fact that Money was the first one to drop the take where he feels as though this could potentially be Dak Prescott's last year, with the star.
I already said it. Trey Lance is going to be the starting quarterback next year.
And for a team that...
And if that happens, I already have another QB1 on my dynasty roster.
You actually had a parlay of hot takes because you had Dallas, Dak Prescott no longer being with Dallas, but number two, you also had Dak Prescott potentially going to the New York Football Giants. So it was a two-banger. A two-parter.
I wonder if I could bet that.
Somewhere, somehow, you probably can.
I should be allowed to bet that.
That's super spicy. And, I just hope the negotiations with Dak go better than the negotiations with Saquon did. I hope Sean let somebody else do the talking.
I think the Cowboys would have. Never mind.
I think the same thing. I said that about a month ago when I started looking everything over and started thinking to myself about everything. Like, it's hinging on Jalen Hurts' development as an actual quarterback. Like, what have you added to your repertoire this year that's going to make you a better passer? Your ability to read coverage, because if he comes out like I just watched the Eagles go 10-1 and completely derail at the end of the season, just lose, and then lose in the playoffs. Like, I have no confidence in that Philadelphia Eagles football team based on how they ended their season. With the Cowboys, you got CeeDee Lamb, you've got Dak Prescott coming back for another year, a defense that's still solid. Like, you have components where I could see this team having, 10 to 11 regular season wins. And, you get to the playoffs, and we know what happens with Dak in those moments. Like, I appreciate you, bro. Appreciate you giving love and always showing love on the Money Sports Lounge layout that we got going on right here. Keeping everything
try to give
everything
it that
authentic,
Try to give it that sports feel.
And try to add a little something to it. I saw your World Series prediction. Oh shit. You're thinking the Cowboys only win 8? So you don't think you guys take the division this year? That's what? I appreciate the realistic take, because it's you being objective about your squad and seeing the flaws. I know you're tired of the bullshit. You know what I mean? Like, you've been seeing the same song and dance for a couple years, and Jerry Jones coming out and just talking shit and just Bebe's saying the Philadelphia Eagles take the division. Okay.
Hasn't happened since 2004.
Washington can be an intriguing part of both those storylines, because one division team winning more games than you expect means one division team losing more games than you expect. Like, it happens. The team is on the ride. It's just a crazy roller coaster, the NFL season, man. Like, some
Eagles
teams
were 10-0 before they relapsed.
Yeah, but that relapse was hard.
That was bad.
that was more than a relapse, bro. They went back in time for that one.
They went 1-4 down the stretch.
They lost to everybody. I watched the Seattle Seahawks with Drew Lock go out there and beat them in a primetime game. Because Jalen Hurts makes the same type of idiotic throw and interception that cost him the game, dog. Like, the Seahawks couldn't score. They won because you gave them the ball back. They won because you gave them the ball back.
If they don't win the division, say they don't even get the 9 wins, how quickly does the fan base turn on Jalen Hurts?
Quickly. They're not going to wait to get to
Giants
9 wins.
made them wave the white flag. Steelers ass, of course.
What up, Freddie?
Freddie will find out in October, bro.
Freddie, who do you think's winning the East? We're having the conversation right now. We might
we got another Cowboy. So we got 2 Cowboys fans here right now. One that believes they're not going to win the division. Freddie, are the Cowboys winning the division?
Bro's got some news.
Unless you did a hit and run.
I'm pretty sure that Freddie's going to pick Dallas to win the division. I can't imagine him picking the Eagles. I know that he doesn't believe in the Giants. And I think he, like a lot of other people, are probably sleeping on Washington right now. Because we're expecting Washington to be the same cruddy Washington team.
And Terrell jumped in, but
he's got the bird emoji. Washington just got the best QB in this draft. And he's going to be their new leader. And
I'm guessing Freddie did a hit and run.
Honesty is key. They
will win the division, absolutely, but it will be close.
But it will be close.
So maybe we're split.
Maybe we're looking at an NFC East where it's like 10 is the magic number. You know, you go 10-7 and you win that division. So it's going to be shout out to my boy who just tuned in right now, but it's going to be muddy waters in the NFC East as far as just making it out and getting to that 10-7 where nobody really looks that good. But if you can just beat up on your division opponent enough, that's going to be the ticket for you to get into the playoffs.
Dallas didn't win the division last.
That's a good way to put it. That's a good way to put it.
Oof.
Eagles kind of just threw the division over their shoulder, and somebody called
Matt.
Well,
I'll do what Matt does.
He still has the hot take of the summer so far. He says that the G-men are going to end up going 12-5 this year.
I did it for y'all.
Shut up. What's up with listen, Titans could be anywhere from 9-8 to missing the playoffs completely. I think our ceiling is 9-8. I'm not going to sit here and say we were next.
He's there.
12-5.
That's
Eagles
not a good way to put
it. Yeah, absolutely. There's no doubt about it. That was the worst I've seen a team after going 10-1.
I'm at the fair on the Cumberland County Fair?
Nice.
I didn't know that was going on.
Nor did I. Hopefully you guys aren't getting bit up by the mosquitoes out there like I was last night when I was on the grill, because my ankles are all red dots everywhere. They chewed me up. Hopefully you got sprayed up. Eagles fell apart. Yeah. That's
remember Terrell the whole year up until that point? We're winning, bro. That's all that matters.
That collapse. That collapse was so epic that it's baked into my theory as to why I
tornado
watch.
There's a tornado watch tonight.
Really? I didn't know about that.
I am so uninformed that I'm one of the guys that actually watches the weather like a fool.
Shit. I'm going to cut the podcast short.
I'm always watching Nor'easter Nick.
Man, that's a terrifying sight. Like, the people that sit there and record this crazy phenomenon and are just like not freaking out. Like, I applaud. Like, first of all, living in a place like Montana or something where they have an actual a tornado season, it's like the Atlanta Falcons collapse. Oof. Yeah, big time. It was a collapse so bad that I'm thinking about that collapse as I come into this new season, because a big part of that collapse was, to me, Jalen Hurts' inability to, read defense and just figure it out. He couldn't do it. He wasn't reading the defense. He was just throwing up lobs, hoping that A.J. Brown would be able to cover the rest, or that Devontae Smith was fast enough to outrun, the corner that was guarding him. Can't wait for the new Twisters movie. The original is the one where they had the cow in the Twister, right? I got a big pop out of me as a kid. That was crazy shit, bro. So I think that collapse spills into this season, for a lot of the people that are expecting the Eagles to come out with a hot start and all the moves that they made, like, pump your brakes. You got to add some reality into this. The fact that they still have a head coach that doesn't know what he's doing. McCarthy has his limitations, but he is light years ahead of Nick Sirianni.
And he's pissed with Jerry, so he's mad that he didn't get a contract extension.
So maybe that can.
And he's also mad that he doesn't got as much control and say as he would like.
He has no say because Jerry Jones is still alive. I'm sorry to say it this way, but until the fossil passes, nothing's going to change in Dallas.
I believe it's AJ's fault. They put unnecessary pressure on Hurts.
The team was 10-0. AJ crying but winning. That didn't help. AJ Brown going on Twitter didn't help
as much as the play calling Sirianni and Jalen not having options to audible into. You could see him on the line recognizing a play is coming, but thinking, I've got nothing to go to.
And I think that, a lot of defenses just at this point have it figured out where it's like they know how to play coverage and keep everything at bay. And then you're living with the consequences of Jalen Hurts running. We'll let you get whatever yards you can get because we are pretty confident that you're not going to be able to get it into the end zone. Because the coverage that we're playing right now, we're shadowing over here. I don't think he knows, like what Paul is saying, basically the play calling and the inability to audible into something that's going to be effective. Like the defense knows what you're playing, and you're just snapping the ball and keeping it that way. Like as you play the Eagles,
that reminds me of the Matt Canada.
like as you play the Eagles and you watch them for a couple of drives and you see what they're coming out and doing, you start to formulate a defense for that. And then they don't counter your adjustment with an adjustment of their own. They don't have one. There's no adjustment to that. And once you get to the goal line, it's tush push touchdown. That's it. You
can't cover AJ. Then double AJ and Smith becomes uncoverable.
It's a pick your poison.
Have a tricky offense when your talent can't be stopped to begin with.
And that's the thing. It's one of the it's a top 5, maybe top 3 wide receiver tandem, which to me gives Jalen Hurts even less of an excuse to not be able to execute and read things out properly because not a lot of quarterbacks out there have an AJ Brown and a Devontae Smith as their that's your wide receiver too, is Devontae Smith.
And just think of this. Now, if Barkley stays healthy the whole year, that offense is pretty damn even more dangerous.
Yeah.
It's just their defense I still don't trust if I'm an Eagles fan.
It's hard. Well, I mean, do we trust the offensive line? Do we trust the offensive line with no Kelsey there? This was one of the best offensive lines in football for years. And now things are going to be looking a little bit differently up front. So what does that mean for the pressure that's coming up to Jalen Hurts? As far as Philly adding another running back, I don't know. You got Barkley for this year and maybe next year. I don't really know who else is out there. I don't feel as though the Philadelphia Eagles really prioritize the running back position the same way because a lot of times you're just seeing multiple guys getting carries in that offense. And I think we're going to see the same this year. We're going to see Kenneth Gainwell out there. Kenneth Gainwell is going to get some burn, even though Barkley's out there now. You're still going to see Kenny out there. He's still going to be one of the top waiver wire ads of the early couple weeks of fantasy football when you realize, oh, shit, they're actually using Gainwell too. Oh, shit, Gainwell just scored 2 touchdowns week 1.
They did this year for a cheap deal.
Yeah. Yeah, it was good value for them to be able to get what they got at the price that they paid. We know that the Philadelphia Eagles draft well. So if they're bumping the road this year is 9-8, that's not too bad because I know that there's a good shot that they can recover. But you're also going to be hearing the boo birds and the speculation. And, don't look now, but this storyline played out already with a Carson Wentz, who people are quick to forget about out here. Had the magical year, and he wasn't able to duplicate that magic. It's safe to say Jalen Hurts' magical year was when they got to the Super Bowl and lost. Can you do that again? You're going to need more than 1 year. You got paid, so you're getting paid like a quarterback that can do it again. Now you actually have to duplicate it. You got to duplicate the success of the Super Bowl year with what you have around you. Take some stress off Hurts with the legs. Now you can focus on his wide receivers more. It's a scary mix. So that's the formula that you're taking into, thinking they're going to end up winning the East. They definitely could. Like if I wasn't picking the Cowboys to do it, it would be Philly.
So Garrett Stubbs is really skinny for a catcher.
He's stressed out. He's losing the backup job to the backup that's hitting more than him. He is a smart catcher.
Thanasis asked for a trade from the Bucks.
Bucks must be happy and sad. They're gonna get a stock point for him. Oh, the trade market for Thanasis is
none.
Yeah, I don't even know. Yeah, I don't know what you expect to get there, buddy. But I don't even think we can get a crumble cookie for him. Focus on passing. I mean, he's got an arm. He's got a cannon. He's got a cannon for an arm.
Barkley becomes legs. Most reasonable Cowboys fan ever. I salute you.
Bebe is just traumatized by all the shit that the Cowboys have put him through. So like now he's just talking reasonably. Lakers, baby. Oh man. We still got a while for NBA, but we do have Summer League, and we have a bombshell from Team USA. Kawhi Leonard quits on another team as he is now out of Team USA. He's focusing more on ramping it up for the regular season so that he can take more days off.
He only plays about 60 games a year.
I'm tired of lying for Dallas.
You should be tired of lying for LA too.
It takes a lot of energy to defend a lot of the crazy shit, especially like with what happened with Green Bay this past year. That was just like you pile that on top of the 49ers and the girl crying in Dallas and like Dallas fans crying and hugging each other. Now. Like, I got
must be because of the Lakers.
Yeah, because Paul is Eagles
Celtics.
and Celtics.
It's all green for Paul.
Yeah. Now, but I'm surprised. I'm a little surprised at Bebez's take tonight on the Cowboys. He sees and I know it hurts him to say it. That's why I know it's coming from a real place, because he's not just going to go out there and pick Philly, because every year he's at war with the Eagles fans.
Oh my gosh.
Or unless he's trying to. This is his way of jinxing Philadelphia, picking them to win the division,
reverse
psychology. And putting that weight on their shoulders so that if they crumble,
Garcia, Henderson,
he could have
Ramirez,
one of the biggest
and
laughs.
Jr. are the AL home run sluggers.
Okay.
Again, you got Alonso, Bohm, Hernandez, and Ozuna for the National League. Will Smith is
MLB
pinch
All-Stars. Pinch hitting. I'm glad I originally it gave me the red X for him. But, it's Will Smith. I'm not going to bench you. You're still my catcher, because I don't really think, my backup catcher is, So, hopefully he hits a deep one here, and I can be vindicated for leaving him in the starting spot.
No, I'm being honest. Dallas has to show me past these regular season rings. Yeah. If we crumble, then we crumble. It's the same old story. I'm used to that. Dallas, is a very, very good regular season team. They're good to give you 11, 12 wins a year. It's when the playoffs happen, it's just you get what you get, and it sucks because they have this promising offense, a young defense, and you think they're going to finally figure it out. It's like that year when they beat Brady in the wild card round. And then they went to the 49ers and just got beat. Well, they were in that game too, but Dak threw it away. And then last year, Dak let Jordan Love outplay him, and that's crazy. The Green Bay Packers became the first ever 7th seed since the 7th seed was introduced back in 2021 to win a playoff game. They didn't win a playoff game in 21, 22. Matter of fact, in 2020. So I'm sorry, it was introduced in 2020. So 2020, 2021, 2022, No one. And then finally it happens, and it's the Packers. It's beating Dallas. It's just a shame. It really is. Because I thought last year's Dallas team had the easiest way to get to the NFC Championship game. Did I think they were going to win the NFC? No. But I said if they get past the Packers, they were going to play Philly if Philly won, or they would have played Tampa, and they would have beaten Tampa, and it would have been a rematch. It's just tough. So I get it. But listen, the Steelers haven't won a playoff game since 2016, and it's pissing me off.
And to Eagles fans who are thinking I'm hating on them or don't agree with my take of Philadelphia, like my expectations for the Tennessee Titans are like the ceiling is like 9-8 or missing the playoffs completely. We still have to figure out if this kid is our guy. Like he's got the feel. Everybody loves him, although everything's positive, but you could have your stories written, you could have your thesis put together over the summer of what you like, what you don't like, the intangibles, the mechanics. You got to get out on that field and you got to execute, and that execution has to lead to victories. That's the only way. You ain't getting in the playoffs if you ain't winning games. I think the catch was our year, and the catch wasn't the catch. So you talking about the Des Bryant catch?
Oh, yeah.
I thought that was a catch when I saw that.
I still think it's a catch to this day.
I was watching that with Cowboys fans in my family, my mom being one of them.
Your mom must have been.
And she was looking from me to the TV because she wanted me to explain to her
why that wasn't a catch.
What was, like, she wanted me to play official and explain why they were taking that away from them, but I had no answers because I had never, like, it's one of those trick plays where it's almost like the blue and black dress or the white and gold dress, where it could be two different things, and then they take the catch away, and it's just, whew, like, that was tough, bro. Still to this day, that's one of those things that, if you ask any Cowboys fan out there, what's your top 3 heartbreaking moment, like, that you've lived through, like, in your lifetime? And that has to probably be on everybody's list. The catch that never was.
Catch that never was.
We all have them. But if you ask a Cowboys fan, what's your top 3? There's a good chance that they end up putting the catch in there. I could see that.
Hey, Dodgers, you just lost again.
Phillies just won. Yankees just won. A lot of weird baseball games today. I'm pretty sure that the Guardians just lost to the freaking Tigers. So that was just
damn. Todd Frazier. I don't remember when Todd Frazier won that derby. That shit was wild.
Yeah. Got the home run derby going on. Honestly,
the craziest home run derby I saw was Bobby Abreu when he had like almost 50 home runs. That was wild that day. Bobby Abreu was never the same after that, though.
The home run derby is more important than the All-Star game at this point in time. Like, to me, like, I'm more interested and locked into what's going on with the home run derby than I am with the All-Star game itself. I don't care who wins the All-Star game. There's nothing on the line.
Also, Romo's Bots field goal. I remember that. That was 2006.
Man,
wild card weekend.
All you had to do, or this way, just put the damn ball down. Nobody cares about the All-Star game. You're right. I don't. I'm just using that time as a break to catch up on some movies and just give myself a mental break from baseball and see what happens now that we're getting close to the baseball trade deadline, because that's going to be the big thing the next couple of weeks that we need to be on top of, like the moves that are made. You got teams like the White Sox and the Tigers who they can't score 3 runs to save their lives, but their pitchers are giving them 6 to 7 inning gems every day. Like guys like Crochet and Tariq Skubal and Flaherty. Skubal had 13 strikeouts his last outing. 13 strikeouts for your baseball team. You know what they generated for him that day? 2 runs. They won 2-1.
Fellas always love man the layout. Love the layout. Pop back in. Love the postcast. The only one I do join.
Thank you, brother. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for giving your input. Thanks for giving your unbiased take on your team. Like, it's going to be interesting as when we get to the football season. You know, maybe once we get to the first week of September, you might change your tune. Maybe you start, you know what I mean, getting the vibe of, you know, Cowboy Nation and shit. And you start saying to yourself, nah, we got a chance to win this. But for now,
we in this.
You're saying the Eagles are going to win the division. So it's going to be interesting to not only see, you know, the hot take progress as the season progresses, but also, you know, the storyline of, is this or is this not the last year of Dak Prescott? And how much time does McCarthy have in Dallas? You've already got the disgruntled employee storyline going, you know.
Might be a clean house next year.
I you know, I'm always like, I have no problem when, you know, the podcast is taken over by NFC East talk, because, you know, most of the people we know, bro, they're split into that division. Well, talk to me in January. So it just sounds like you are ready to completely check out on them this year. You're giving yourself a mental health break, and you're ready to move on and getting yourself ready for basketball season, pretty much. Like, that's truly when you know, like, a fan is just fed up with the BS, bro. Like with a lot of the Sixers fans, a lot of you guys, you're ready to kind of just take a year off. You don't even have the fight in you to put up for. You're not going to come out here and defend them. You just, whatever they give out there, whatever the product is, I'm skipping everything. That's funny, bro. That is funny. We'll see, man. We'll see what happens with them boys.
Should be interesting.
And we'll see. You know, that my spoiler is the fact that I'm, you know, picking them already to win that division. So when we break down the NFC East, my breakdown might be short and sweet for that episode. But the other side is going to be a little bit tougher, though. The AFC East is, I don't know what's going on over there, man. As the years go by, it's like you have less and less faith in the Bills. But then you can't trust the Dolphins.
Agreed.
But then can you trust the Jets? And we don't even know what the Patriots are. So it's just,
the Patriots are the worst team in the league.
I'm glad I have time. OTA's training.
The Patriots are going to be in the top 5.
You're just straight mad and simulating everything. You're simulating everything and hoping your team makes the playoffs so you can play. Not a bad strategy, bro. They will have a good season. I think the Sixers finished top 3 in the East. It's a good place for them. I might want to put the Cleveland Cavs in that 3rd spot, but I kind of wanted to do that with them this year. This is one of those things, if you ask yourself, have they matured enough? Does another year of Donovan Mitchell help to bring the chemistry together? Because, bro, you got Karis LeVert. You've got Josh Allen. You've got Jared Allen. Sorry. You got Jared Allen. What's the other talk? Mobley. You got Mobley over there.
Yeah. We used to win a lot of money with that guy.
Darius Garland. Yeah, the overs on Mobley, like they, you know, the talent is in Cleveland. It's just one of those things where.
Did you see what Steve Kerr said? Everybody on the Warriors is movable, except for Steph. Like,
who do you have?
Because somebody questioned, like, why you got Kuminga in trade talks? Like, why would you have Kuminga in trade talks?
Kuminga is probably their most valuable asset at this point, not named Steph Curry. Think about it. 24, 25 years old. You saw some of the performances that he was putting on last year for the Golden State Warriors.
He won me some money.
They were disappointing.
How many times did we do points and rebounds? That dude just came through for us.
The Kuminga 2.5 assists was my go-to. Yeah, and the points and rebounds prop. We were sharing it in the system. Boston, New York Knicks, Sixers, top 3 in the East. Book it. There we go. Since we're giving out predictions right now for the NBA, my early NBA Finals prediction for next year is Boston Celtics versus Denver Nuggets. And I'm sorry, Paul, but I got the Nuggets going over. And I got Jokic getting himself a second NBA Finals trophy. But it'll be cool to see, the Celtics going back-to-back. I just think that we get the showdown between the previous champion, the current champion. They go toe-to-toe. And maybe we get the start of a nice little rivalry going between those two. I'm basically running back the NBA Finals that I had for this year. I didn't expect the Timberwolves to do what they did, and I don't think I'd take the Wolves to get to the finals next year. There'll be a cool story, but if I was to place a wager on it, my wager would be the Nuggets and the Celtics. However, to be honest, I did pick the Rangers and the Giants to be in the World Series. So,
Boston going back to back. No Drake, though.
Oh, man. So, yeah, I mean, we're nearing the MLB trade deadline. I'm just trying to think ahead for what's coming for next week. So we're going to be talking about the rumor and innuendo as far as what's going on with, who gets moved where. How many great pitchers can be saved from their terrible situations and go join contending teams? Because now this is the part of the baseball season where if you're in the top 12, top 14, you're trying to stay in that realm. So you're going to make the moves to keep yourself there. And the teams that know they're not going to make the playoffs, like the Blue Jays of the world, are sellers. The White Sox, the Tigers, the Blue Jays, all those teams have assets, real assets, and they are going to sell to the teams at the top that are looking to buy, so that when that MLB slump hits in the second half of the season, it doesn't slump them out of the playoff picture. It's all about staying where you are right now, holding on to your spot, staying at the top, and not giving in to one of those teams that, you got teams like the Reds, who I'm sure are still fighting to try to get themselves into the mix, but you can only lose so many games before you just,
Paul Zeiss of Pittsburgh is reporting the Pirates are on the verge of acquiring Angels outfielder Taylor Ward.
Okay.
Which is interesting.
Nice little side move. And with that comes the trade deadline in Sandlot Baseball Association. If you have a move that you think you can make that can salvage your team, that can get you into the top 6 or keep you in the top 6, if you're lacking right now, the trade deadline is July 25th. Don't forget, Sandlot Baseball Association. Shout out to the boys. Shout out to the group chat. They were just buzzing right now because the Yankees and the Phillies pretty much won at the exact same time. So for those of you who don't know, it's all Yankees and Phillies fans in there. So, I feel bad if we expand the league and I add, a newbie into the mix that's like a Red Sox or a Mets fan, because they're going to be getting it from every direction. They will be targeted because you'll be jumping right into the middle of the 24/7 food fight that is between the Yankees and the Phillies in there.
Just checking to see.
Hey,
I've got any news?
Nothing new as far as right now. Nothing really going on crazy in the NFL world right now. It's the calm before the storm. I appreciate episodes like this because we threw a little bit of wrestling in there and talked about some great memories, took a trip down nostalgia road, and we even got some good conversation in on the NFC East and what some people are thinking. I think all the Eagles fans are thinking they're going to win a division. We've already got one Cowboys fan saying they ain't going to win it. Freddie is thinking, what did Freddie pick? Did he do it? He said, Freddie said Dallas, but it's going to be close.
Yeah.
So we're going to be talking about a down to the wire finish. Of course, the 12-5 from Matthew never gets old. That's all he says anymore.
Somebody got a video of Kawhi getting a lap dance right now in the strip club in Vegas.
Oh, he's got better things to do than play for America right now. That's an old video.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, that's an old video. I remember when that video came out. Yeah, bro, that's an old one. Oh, that's funny shit, bro. I guess we'll keep tabs on Team Saquon Barkley staying healthy all season. I'll keep the comments to myself. If he does stay healthy all season long, it can only help the offense. It can only help Jalen Hurts. Maybe we see less rushes from him, like Bebe was indicating anyway. I don't know if you know Drewski, but Bebe has the Eagles winning the division. We all know he loves his beloved Cowboys, but he doesn't see it with Dallas this year. I see it where they could manage to win that division, but he doesn't see it with them this year. So we shall see. Maybe we start with them in August. Who knows?
Yeah.
Let's get it out of the way.
Get the East out of the way.
We always like to mix it up. Every year we start with a new talking point. Maybe we save the two Norths for last. We give you the You know what I mean? We give you the honor of covering your own division last. And then we have the opportunity to talk about the NFC North, which I'm excited to break down that division because we could get it completely wrong. Like JJ McCarthy might go out there and ball.
And
What if all the shit we give Caleb Williams and he goes out there and balls? You know,
listen, if JJ balls,
you got him. What did Matt say? 5-12? Yeah, pretty much.
McCarthy to Addison all day.
McCarthy to Addison. Drafts are approaching, man. You know, August, the preseason football might not be as exciting in August, but August is also draft season. So we want to see your boards. We want to see your lineups. We want you to post all of that. I started just posting boards and letting people break down teams, not even giving my team away. A lot of times people be like, oh, I'm team 2. I just post the board and then you just have the
told
discussions.
Me I was crazy for not wanting Darnold.
A couple weeks. I mean, Darnold falls into the category of a Gardner Minshew. Because last year, the year before, all of our quarterbacks went down. All our top quarterbacks went down. And you had to go into the slums and you had to find your guy. Tyler Badgett was my starter like 2 or 3 weeks on the dynasty team that I ended up winning the championship with. Some of those weeks he wasn't doing much. It was the guys around him. It was a supporting cast, the run support. But that's how ugly it got last year.
For context, we got it. He also offered me him. And there we go.
Okay, so he offered him to you and then attacked you after you didn't take the initial offer. Great trade tactics, Alex. It sounds like it's going great out there.
Devin A-Chain.
Was he trying to get a running back from you? I just wanted to know. Dude, I'm excited for Kingpin's Dynasty, bro. That's the startup year. Like, we've already got so much storyline shit talking baked in to year 1 for this league that I cannot wait. It's been a little bit quieter as we've tended to shift our focus to
then
baseball.
Accepted Hubbard.
Oh, for Jared Judy, bro. I have no problem taking our trades and putting them on the podcast for open discussion. Because you know what that does? That opens up the floor for other people in their leagues to talk about trades that are going on in their leagues, and we can have fun with them. And we can talk fleece of the week. That could be a new thing this year. Fleece of the week. It doesn't just have to be our league. It can be whatever trade we hear about that you guys are discussing. If it happens in the forum prior to the podcast, we will bring it onto the forum. Talk about your trades. Talk about your negotiations. We need a fleece of the week every single week. And we will give credit where credit is due with the good trades. We'll break down the reasoning behind it. Hell, if I'm a part of the fleece of the week, you know, I am more than willing to discuss it. Either side of the spectrum. Me, I just have a tendency to, I overpay a little bit for what I actually want. But it's just because, the value.
Give me what I want.
Guys like me keep the trade market going. You know what I mean? Because I'm always out there trying to negotiate and look. Baseball has me wrapped around its finger right now because I'm telling you guys, I've created my own analytics department pretty much. Just me crunching numbers, looking at stats. But once that's done and I'm able to be locked in, like once I see myself in front of the boards, once you get into draft season and you're getting together with the people that you don't get to see all year long and you're catching up and you get that vibe, you get that feeling, you see your team with their helmets on, you're just like, okay, like, we're here. Like it's time. It is time. I'm purposely doing less mock drafts so that I can just be, when August comes, just full draft mode.
It's like that moment where the water breaks and it's, oh my God, it's happening.
Yeah.
Stay calm.
Yeah.
Stay calm.
I feel like I had more success last year mock drafting less because I went up to each board and treated each board like it's so, like I didn't draft the same guy in round 5 over and over and make some of those errors where it's like, oh, this is my 10th draft. Let me get this guy in the same spot.
Since I have you here, Oscar, you might have to make that Tom Brady comeback to sick pick.
Oh, shit. The hot tag. You're going to be drafting at 12 that day, old money. Oh, shit. It's only a matter of time. You knew that the retirement wasn't going to last for long. It pulls you back in. We need you. You gotta save the league. You gotta save the league, tough guy.
Why? What is the situation?
Oh, he's going on vacation. You didn't know? You didn't see it in the group chat?
There's so many messages.
That man's gonna be in PR, dog. He's not even gonna be out here. He's not even. It's a live draft. He's not coming back till the 26th. Draft is on the 25th. Unless you guys want to like run a team together, or like you draft for Chris and then give him the team. I don't know, like because it's a live draft. Like we're all gonna be there at Mike D's house. Oh, there it is. Oh, Money unretiring. Woo! Live on the podcast. Oh, Money unretiring to end the show, to close out what has been a nice little smorgasbord of different topics on tonight's podcast. For those of you who enjoy more podcasts like this, we will do more podcasts like this where we ain't afraid to stray away from sports to just talk about some of the topics that you want to break down, some great memories in WWE, MMA, boxing. Like we will encompass all of that, bake it all in to one amazing On the Money Sports podcast pie for you. Mike D's probably asleep, but we'll let him know when he wakes up that Oscar's in. Now Chris can, proceed with the vacation and kick his feet up, drinking alcohol out of a coconut, and not have to stress about holding up the league. We always got the reserves, man.
I can't believe y'all did it.
The 13th man has jumped in and become the 12th man, and Oscar O'Money. It's only July, and we already have one of the Premier Leagues saved thanks to Oscar O'Money. Coming in, getting the hot tag, and you're back, buddy. Was it the Evil Horde? Is that your name?
Oh, you guys, man.
He's back in, buddy. But yeah, man. Next week, same time, same place on this podcast. We'll be coming to you with all the up-to-date news that we have, trade talks, NFL training camp, any other dropouts from Team USA. Be safe. Thanks for the feedback, guys.
I feel like the dude from Eastbound and Down when he ran out from in his last pitching match in the minors.
He's just pelting towards the mound, gassing himself out.
Yeah.
Evil Warriors live on. Yes, they do. They are back.
This is it, Chris. That next year, I'm doing it for one more year, and that's it.
We got a rental. 1-year rental of O Money.
When I said I was out, I meant I was out. I'm doing this as a favor.
Love of the game.
You owe me.
Ladies and gentlemen, have a good night. We'll see you same time, same place next week.